Listen to me. Am I audible? Great. That's wonderful. So, very warm welcome, everybody, to the online class by Amity. So, today we are going to cover a very interesting topic, and the topic is telephone etiquette. Though this word and this concept, it may sound very familiar and it would be very easy for every one of us, yet sometimes we don't follow the protocols. So before starting the telephone etiquette, let me explain to you, what do we mean by etiquette? Can anybody tell me what do we mean by etiquette? So what do you mean by etiquette? Etiquette. Because today we are going to talk about telephone etiquette. So can anybody just message me? I have Golu Singh online. Wonderful. Welcome to Amity Online. Great, great, great. So, yes. So, what do you mean by etiquette? So, etiquette is a ticket. Etiquette is a ticket, and it is a ticket to success, right? And today we're going to talk about the telephone etiquette. So, let me tell you one incident. A month back, I was very hungry and it was afternoon, and I called up a famous restaurant over here in my city. I just called them up to order burger, and I called them up and I was like, hello, hello. And there was no one. Somebody just picked up the phone and no greeting. And I was like, I kept on saying, hello, anybody there? Hello, anybody there? And that person just put my call on hold. Oh my God. And that person just put my call on hold. And you can well imagine, how was I feeling at that time? Definitely, yes. I was feeling disappointed. I was feeling very disappointed. And believe me, I was pissed off. I am their customer, I am their client, and I've called them to place an order. However, there is nobody to receive that call. And I kept on saying, hello, 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 hello. No response. And then I just kept the phone down. I was completely pissed off from that restaurant. And I promised myself that I'm not going to call that restaurant again. So, dear friends, it's very important to understand and learn about the telephone etiquette, specifically in business, settings. Because etiquette, as I already told you, it is the passport to success. It's very, very important. So, we should understand and, completely take care of the protocols whenever we are in corporate settings. So I would first of all try to tell you and explain to you what are the 5 P's of telephone. So what are the 5 P's of telephone for answering the call? First of all is P. P means that we have to be very, very polite. So whenever somebody calls up, we have to be very polite, we have to be very courteous, and we have to answer them. Yes, definitely, we have to answer the call within 3 rings, and we have to, introduce ourselves, and we have to speak clearly. That's very, very important. But we have to be very, very polite because as our image matters. So no doubt, nobody is going to see how do we look in the telephone, yet our voice speaks it all. And according to Albert Mehrabian rule, it is very important to cast the first powerful impression. Even your voice modulation, that's very, very important, because the person can come to know and understand whatever you say, right? So it's very important to be polite. First P is polite and be very courteous. Second is to be prepared. Whenever you are answering the call or whenever you are calling somebody, you should be all prepared. You should be all prepared. You should actively listen and you should take the notes so that you understand the other person's point of view very well. Next is you should be to the point, because sometimes what it happens is that our statements are very vague and these statements are not clear. So we should be to the point, because whenever we are to the point, we should not just beat about the bush. We should be very, very, we should speak to the point. Then next P is perceptive, perceptions. We should be very, very insightful. You should know the other person's point of view. You should be empathetic and you should know the perspective of other person. So when you are perceptive and you perceive the other person, so you should not waste people time and be very, very insightful. Next is that we should be very, very cooperative. When we are cooperative, we listen to the other person, we empathize with them. And that is the reason when we empathize with them, we cooperate with them, that the other person would also try to and would give us business again and again. So these were the 5 P's which are very, very important when we talk about the telephone etiquette. Right. Another point, it's very important is picture. What does picture mean? Picture is again, as I already told you, that according to Albert Mehrabian, when we talk about image, so 55% role in casting the first impression is through our body language, and 38% is through our paraverbal. So what is paraverbal? Paraverbal is all about our pitch, all about our volume, all about our tone, right? All about our word stress. So in telephone etiquette, it is very important to understand these paraverbals, because these paraverbals will give you a upper hand and they will help you to understand the other point of view and would help you, it would help the other person also to understand you better. So again, in picture, the word P, it stands for pitch. It stands for the quality of sound. So it really, really matters. Your pitch really matters. Then when we come to I, it's again about inflection. Inflection is again the modulation of your voice, because the modulation of the voice again casts the impression, and the receiver also comes to know and understand from your inflection what you want to say. Then C again is very important, and I repeat, it's courtesy. Courtesy is so very important because again, it's all about etiquette. So courtesy is very, very important. Then T is your tone. So your tone again is very important. If you want to say somebody that I'm really happy to receive your call, and if you say I'm really happy to receive your call, it would sound that yes, your words are telling that you are happy, but your tone isn't. So it should, your words and your tone should be matching, and when they are matching, they would give the receiver the exact message what you want to say. So it's very, very important to use the appropriate tone. You is all about understanding. You should understand the other point of view, you should understand the other person's ideas, its view. R is again about the rate of speech, like how many words are you speaking per second. So again, your rate of speech should also be, appropriate. So these were the very, very important things which I wanted to bring in your notice. E is again your enunciation. And enunciation means that you have to pronounce the words very, very clearly, because if you pronounce the word, your pronunciation really matters when it comes to telephone etiquette. So again, I repeat, the word picture, it talks about pitch, it's talk about inflection, it talks about courtesy, it talks about tone, it talks about understanding, it talks about rate of speech, and E, it talks about enunciation. So these were the very, very important things, which we have to keep in mind. I know, we in whenever it comes to telephone etiquettes, we deliberately don't say anything, but yet, we are you don't follow these protocols, in the business setting. But if we follow it, that's very, very important etiquette, and it really counts. Again, there are some forbidden words which we should really avoid when it comes to the telephone etiquette. So, what are those? For example, if somebody calls up and we say no, no. So, no means what? So, if anybody just hears this word no, we should just, these are forbidden words. So, we should not use no. Instead of no, we can say that, okay, let me find out some solution for you, let me find out something better. So no should be completely forbidden, it should not be used, right? Second, when we say that I don't know, I don't know, so instead of saying I don't know, we can just say let me find out for you, because if you say let me find out for you, that would sound better, isn't it? I hope everybody is with me. So we should say, I don't know, I don't know. We can say, okay, let me just find it for you and get back to you, because that would be most appropriate. And I know the other person who is receiving the call would really appreciate it. Because in today's time, the most important asset, I would say, is time. Is time. So everybody's time is very, very precious. So we should understand and we should respect the other point of view. We should respect the time. And when it comes to telephone etiquette, as I already said, that yes, tone, pitch, volume, word stress, the paraverbals are very important. And side by side, it's very important how we say. How we say is very important. The words are important, what we say, definitely, yes. But how we say is equally important. So, yes, so I was talking about the forbidden words and I talked about no, that we should not use this word no. Instead, we should say, let me find out. No, I can't do it. We can say, let me find out for you. And, if we say that we can't do it, we'd say, let me see what we can do together. Because these are the things which really, really counts. And if we use them, definitely this would form that right impression in the mind of the receiver. Sometimes what happens is that somebody calls and we are not in a good mood, and we just carry that mood in our tone. We should just be in a good mood whenever we are in the corporate setting. We should be in a good mood, and we should be in a good mood because our mood really reflects in our tone. So friends, it's very, very important to have that good mood, because if you have a good mood, that would reflect in your tone. When it comes to telephone etiquette, again, I told you that etiquette is a passport, it is a ticket to success. So, this telephone etiquette really counts. I've heard a lot many times my friends saying, and many of my colleagues telling me that somebody called up and he just started, hello, hello, yes, is it so and so? Yes. And he just started talking and just started babbling. So instead of just speaking your point of view, what is very important is to ask the other person that is it the right time to talk? Is it the right time to talk? Because if the person says yes, then we can move ahead. And if not, then we can have another time and then talk about it. That's very, very basic etiquette. But yet, sometimes we just ignore it. Again, we should make a habit, and we should make a habit again when it comes to telephone etiquette. We should make a habit, and we should make a habit of helping the other person. For example, in office setting, somebody comes up and asks for some, or even on the telephone, because I know sometimes the calls are external, because some customers, they call up to know something, but sometimes the calls are even internal. And from the internal department, whenever somebody calls up, we said hello, yes, yes, okay, fine, yes, no, not right now, okay, we will do it. So whenever, even if the call is internal from your internal people, then also our tone, and whenever we receive that call, it should be hello, hello, how can I help you? So you could again ask that how can you help? So that word help is very, very important in the telephone etiquette, and you should make it a habit of helping people, of being empathetic. Then again, second is effort. When it comes to telephone etiquette, effort is very important. Sometimes a person calls up and we don't make an effort to answer that call properly. And we just say, no, no, it's not my business. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my business. Somebody's other, it is someone else's work. No. Make an effort, and make an effort to solve that problem. Make an effort to connect that person with the right source. Very, very important. Then listening is very important, because this listening is very crucial, because when it comes to telephone etiquette, it is again about communication. It's all about communication skills, and listening is so very important. Listening, we all know that there is a difference between listening and hearing. When we hear, we just hear, but when we listen, we concentrate. We listen with full emotions. We're emotionally connected to that person. So listening is very important in telephone etiquette, and that's the difference. And that's the difference between a speaker, a speaker who listens. Whenever you call somebody and you say, oh my god, that is such a wonderful person, he listens to the other person. So listening is very, very important. Next is promise. Promise is, again, a promise means that if you promise somebody that yes, I'll just connect back to you within 5 minutes, and in telephone etiquette, that's again a very, very important etiquette, that you should connect with that person within 5 minutes. Sometimes it is seen and it is observed that we say, okay, just wait for a second, but that second turns into minutes, and minutes turn into hours, and the person keeps on waiting. So please never give those false promises. If you say 5 minutes or if you say a second, it should be a second. So understand, empathize, and respect the other person's time. Time is very crucial. Somebody has given you time, somebody has made an effort to call you. So appreciate that person, appreciate the person's messages. So that's very, very important part when it comes to the telephone etiquette. Another very important part in telephone etiquette is the fairness. Fairness is all about, you have to be fair. Fair means that your dealing should be fair, and it should be equal with everybody, right? We should not be prejudiced, right? So I believe that if you adopt these strategies, these telephone etiquette strategies, whichever we have discussed right now, you would be able to solve a lot many problems. And when, again, I would say, telephone etiquette is all about communication, it's all about the soft skill. And communication, telephone etiquette is all again about your communication. How well are you as a communicator? So for the best of telephone etiquette, please become a good communicator who listens, who empathizes, and who understands the other point of view. And if you follow these strategies, I'm very sure you won't have any problem in understanding and listening to the other point of view. Thank you for having me. Thank you so